What's up, collective? Excuse the background noise if you can hear it. Anyway, I hope that you guys are doing well. I hope that you are getting help that you need if you need it. Okay. God help the person making noise in the background of my episodes. No, I'm just kidding. It's life, guys. It happens. It is what it is. Hopefully you can't hear it. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Today, you're not going to get sarcastic, Nina. Okay. I been wanting to do an episode like this, around this for a while, and I don't know. I saw something the other day, and it was like, oh yeah, a big giant reminder. You need to do this. So, anyways, we're gonna do it today. So I'm, just gonna be pretty serious. At the end, I want you guys to stick around, and I'll tell you why in a second. So, welcome back. If you're joining me again, if you're new, my name is Nina. I am the host. And today I'm going to explore something that I'm wondering if anyone has ever thought of at some point. Why don't addicts get addicted to getting sober? So, for me, I feel like it's a pretty profound question. And addiction can take over someone's life. It can consume them completely. So for me, I always thought, why can't you let getting clean and sober consume you? So if addicts work like that, right? Why isn't sobriety magnetic to them? Well, sobriety can become fulfilling, but it's not an instant process, and it doesn't work the same way addiction does. So today I'm going to break down the nature of addiction, why getting sober isn't immediately alluring, and how recovery can be a life-changing journey of self-discovery. And to wrap things up, I've created a meditation specifically for addiction. So, whether you're struggling yourself or supporting someone who is, I encourage you to stay until the end and give yourself that moment of stillness and healing. So, let's begin. The science and psychology of addiction. Let's start with the basics. What is addiction? Well, addiction is a chronic condition where the brain becomes dependent on a substance or behavior. But here's the key: addiction isn't about the substance itself, it's about what the substance does for the person using it. For many, addicts start as a way to cope. Imagine someone dealing with an overwhelming pain, trauma, or even just the stress of everyday life. Substances like alcohol, drugs, or even behaviors like gambling or overeating can seem like an escape, a way to feel something different. But here's the catch. When we use something repeatedly to escape pain, the brain rewires itself. The dopamine system, the part of the brain that creates the feelings of pleasure and even reward, becomes hijacked. Over time, the brain begins to crave the thing that brought relief, even when it's destructive. Addiction is not a moral failure. It's not a lack of willpower. It's the brain's way of trying to survive pain, trauma, and unmet emotional needs. So I will share with you guys, it's not my story, so I'm not going to give too many details, but I'll give you my perspective on it. My son's father battled with addiction way before he met me, and it definitely affected our relationship. And it wasn't the greatest relationship. It wasn't just because of his addictions, but it just was two people who had issues coping with whatever was going on with them mentally coming together. And sometimes that creates a very toxic environment. So, I would think of things like this when he would be going through a detox phase, which was a lot. But I'd always think, why can't you just get addicted to becoming clean. Like, be addicted to not going and doing the thing, doing the drug, And obviously, I was coming from a place of I didn't understand. I didn't have an addiction, at least not that severe. My addiction was more because I feel like addiction is just like the spectrum that we're all on. We all have some form of something going on with us to cope, to escape. And we do that thing a lot, whether it's, smoking cigarettes or eating junk or, something, some kind of escapism. That can lead into addiction for sure. So, anyways, I always wondered, like, why can't you just stop? And why do you treat me so badly? And there was just a lot going on there. And, I try my best to understand it, where I was at in my head, where I was at with myself. And I went to Al Anon meetings to try to understand more. And it did help in the way of me understanding that it wasn't something that he could just stop. Um, but what I didn't understand is how he never wanted to get help. He never thought he had a problem. And then I realized later on, unfortunately, it was after, we had ended our relationship, that is part of the addiction is you don't admit you have a problem. You don't want to, because then if you admit you have a problem, then that leads to getting sober. So why isn't sobriety instantly addictive? Why doesn't sobriety trigger the same kind of craving? Why isn't it just as compelling as the addiction? Well, the answer lies in our brains, the way our brain responds to pleasure and pain. Addiction provides immediate gratification. It's a quick fix. Sobriety, on the other hand, is a slow and steady. It doesn't offer the same instant relief because it requires facing what's underneath the addiction. For someone trying to get sober, this can feel terrifying. They might have to confront old wounds, unresolved trauma, or even feelings of guilt and shame. Sobriety isn't just about giving something up, it's about rebuilding a life, and that can feel very overwhelming. Another factor is our culture. So, let's be honest, our world glamorizes indulgence and instant gratification. Sobriety isn't marked as fun and exciting, it's portrayed as hard work, as something you do because you have to, not because you want to. But here's some good news. While sobriety may not light up the brain's reward system in the same way, it offers something deeper: freedom, clarity, even self respect. These things might not come immediately, but they build over time. So, how can sobriety become fulfilling? So, here's the shift. I want you to think about this. Sobriety doesn't have to be about what you're giving up, it can be about what you're gaining. When someone gets sober, they often discover parts of themselves they didn't even know existed. They find new passions, build meaningful relationships, and learn to process emotions in a healthy way. I've seen people in my own life channel their energy into art, into fitness, into fighting, into writing, and even volunteering. They replace the addiction with something that fills the void in a way that's sustainable and fulfilling. So, if you're listening to this episode and you're struggling right now, I want you to know that sobriety isn't about being perfect. It's about progress. It's about taking one small step at a time. Even if it feels like you're moving slowly, every step forward counts. Me and my son's father are not together anymore, but there's always this hope in the back of my mind that he will find that place. We're not in each other's lives really, so I don't know where he's at mentally, where he's at with his addiction. As far as I know, he hasn't had any real help with it. But again, that's his story. I'm not going to tell his story for him. What I will say is one maybe reason that I feel he battled with this, and the reason I'm going to tell this part of it is because this might help somebody out there. I feel one of the reasons he battled with addictions is a way to cope with, I don't know, he's always been somebody who kind of struggles with um being around people, like interacting with people, confidence, right? He lacked a lot of confidence when he was sober. I feel, this is my opinion. I was with him for a long time, so this is where I kind of came up with, like, why did he do this to himself? Because for a long time I cared about him, and he's the father of my son. So I kept wondering, like, what led him to this? Because he didn't have an injury where he was on, he's prescribed pain pills for pain or anything. It wasn't like that. And what I noticed is he would choose things that made his confidence stronger, that would make him more outgoing and less, introverted. So that is the part of himself that he needed to really deal with, was his self-confidence. And I all I could do is hope that he actually deals with that at some point. So if you guys are going to stick around, we're going to get to the meditation portion in a second. If you're not, if we're going to part ways here, I'm sending you so much love. I hope that if you are battling with addiction right now, that you go easy on yourself. Not so much to where you're gentle parenting yourself, because that usually leads to more addiction, more excuses, but that you're loving yourself while you're kicking your own ass into getting clean. If you know someone who would benefit from this episode, please send them this episode, send them my love as well. If you're out there and you are an addict or a former addict and you would like to be interviewed and tell your story, I would love to have you on the podcast. So the information below, you can email me at media.collectiveculture@gmail.com, and we can schedule your episode. All right, guys. So again, if you're going to stay for the meditation, thank you. So I want to invite you into a space of stillness and reflection. This meditation is for anyone affected by addiction, whether directly or indirectly. So find a comfortable position. You can sit in a chair, you can lay down, you can even stand if that feels better for you. Close your eyes if you're comfortable and take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Again, breathing slowly and let it go. Now, I want you to bring your awareness to the front of your face, to your forehead. Take the tips of your fingers on your right hand and lay them on your forehead. At first, just feel the touch of your fingers to your forehead. Feel your fingers feeling your forehead. Feel your forehead feeling your fingers. Now I want you to imagine your fingers producing a glowing white light. Pulsating through your forehead into your mind and clearing out anything that you're thinking of right now. Maybe shifting your fingers back and forth over your head, allowing all the white light to clear out any negativity, any stress. Now position your fingers to the middle of your forehead and imagine that light turning from white to green. Beautiful, soft green, like the green leaves on a tree or green grass growing out of the ground. Feel the light expanding through the forehead and down through the face. This is a light of healing and love. Now take the tips of your fingers and place them on your chest by your heart. On your inhale, I want you to imagine this green light filling your heart. And as you exhale, I want you to push it down throughout your entire body. Rest your arm by your side and imagine this glowing green light flowing through you, head to toe. When you're ready, I want you to say the words, I am free from anything that has a hold of me. I am free of anything that has a hold on me. Notice how your body reacts to those words. Did the green light stop, or is it still flowing through your body? On your next inhale, bring all that glowing green light back to your heart center. And on your exhale, push it through your body again. We're going to push it all the way out on your next exhale. So breathe in, lock in that gold light. Exhale, release it out through your toes, through your legs, your arms, your chest, your head. You're creating this orb of green light. This is a light orb of love that you are going to send out to anyone that needs this, who may be feeling trapped, who wants to be free, who wants to feel this love. Say to yourself or aloud, you are free from whatever is holding on to you. You are free from whatever is holding on to you. Addiction is not just for you, right? It's not just about you. It's about the people that are around you that it affects. So we want to share the love. Now, as we close this meditation, I want you to bring your awareness back to the present moment. Listen to any sounds around you. Notice how you can feel the cool air coming in through your nose and the warmth when you exhale. And when you're ready, start to bring the awareness to your fingers. Move them a little bit. Move your toes. Move your legs. Move your arm. We're going to take a couple deep inhalations. So when you're ready, inhale with me. And exhale. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. On this last breath, I want you to inhale protection. Exhale addiction. You inhale protection from anything that's trying to hold on to you. And you exhale the addiction from it. When you're ready, open your eyes. I want you to thank yourself for showing up today, for admitting that you have a problem, that there is a problem, accepting help, knowing you're not alone. And you can come back to this meditation whenever you need it. I, as always, am sending you guys so much love. And while I know this is a sensitive subject for some people, it doesn't mean it should be buried away and not talked about. That's, I think, the number one reason why people don't get help with things like this. Addiction is very much associated with mental health. And while physical therapy and, vision, dentistry, those are all medical practices that people take very serious, and they're not ashamed to go see a doctor, see a primary care physician, and, oh, my leg hurts. But we have to make mental health just as normalized. We have to normalize getting help mentally. So that we will, because we won't, if we don't normalize it, we won't do it. So it starts with you. If you lead by example and you show people it's okay, I need help and I'm asking for it, and you show people that it's okay, little by little, the collective will follow suit. But the more we are ashamed of our needs, the more people are going to suffer. And it's turned fatal. My son's dad is still around. It didn't become an addiction where he lost his life, but I have had friends who have. So If we don't start normalizing asking for help, nobody's ever going to get real help. So again, if you are an addict currently or you're a former addict, I would love to talk to you. I would love to let you have your voice to tell your story. And this is a judgment-free zone. You're very welcome in this space. I don't put up with that bullshit. So hit me up, email me, and we will make time for you. I'm sending you guys all the love in the world. Big hugs. Until next time. Ciao.